Alright, so the second type of math puzzle that we're looking at today is called a kakuro. And a kakuro is very similar, or it looks very similar to a magic square in that it's a grid with some missing squares. And each kakuro has these numbers on the top and on the left. And what we have to do is we have to fill in the blanks so that this number is the sum of these two numbers. So what that means is that when I add this imaginary number plus this one, it equals 4. And when I add this one and this one, it equals 17. Now for the top ones, they are going downward. So when I add this and this, it's 12. And this, it's 9. Now, to make things a little clearer, we're only going to be using the numbers 1 through 9. And you can't repeat any numbers on the row or column. So let me just go through this one first, and then I'll explain further. So in this one, I'm going to start off with an easy one like 4. Now, if I put 2 and 2 right here, I wouldn't be able to do that because they are repeating itself. So what I'm going to try instead is a 1 and a 3. Now, if I have a 1 and a 3 here, I have to start looking at my other squares. So right here, I would have to put an 11 because 1 plus 11 is 12. However, that doesn't work because I can only use the numbers 1 through 9. So you can see how this can get a little trickier. So what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to use the 3 right there and the 1 right there. And now what I can do is I can start filling in the rest. So 1 plus something is 9. And 3 plus something is 12. Now just to check all my answers, 9 plus 8 is 17. 3 plus 1 is 4. 3 plus 9 is 12. And 1 plus 8 is 9. So to continue your notes from last assignment, I want you to write out these rules for a kakuro. We only use the numbers 1 through 9. Each row's boxes add up to the number on the left. Each column's boxes add up to the number on the top. And there can't be any repeats. So let's try another one. Here we have 4 different numbers. And so what I'm going to try first is the lowest one. That's usually a good strategy because there's few combinations of a low number. So 3 is either going to be 2 plus 1 or a 1 plus 2. So if I put a 1 here and a 2 here, it adds to 3. However, if I put a 1 here, then I would have to put a 10 right here because 1 plus 10 is 11, which doesn't work because we're only using numbers 1 through 9. So what I'll have to try instead is putting a 2 here and a 1 right there. Then I can figure out this one because 1 plus 6 is 7 and 2 plus 9 is 11. So you can see how it really helps to always start with the lowest number. Alright, so if we start off with the number 5 here, I'm going to let you try to figure out this one. So keeping in mind that we can put a 1 or a 4, or a 2 and a 3. So go ahead and pause the video and try to fill it out for yourself. Alright, so if you thought to put in a 4 right there, and a 1, and a 6 right there, and a 9, you were correct. Okay. So let's move on to this one. Now I'm going to give you a hint for this one because there's not any low numbers here. I wouldn't say that 8 or 9 are really low numbers. But here's a trick. I want you to look at the highest number now, the 16. And if we think about the two numbers that add up to 16, it can be 8 plus 8, or 9 plus 7. Now we can't use 8 plus 8 because that's a repeat, but we can use the 9 plus 7. So using these two numbers, I want you to think about which one is the 9 and which one is the 7. So go ahead and pause the video and figure out which one is the 9 and which one is the 7. And then I would like you to continue solving the rest of the puzzle. Okay, so if you thought to put the 7 right there and the 9 right there, you were correct. The reason why we can't put the 9 right here is because if we put the 9 there, we would need to put a 0 right here, because 9 plus 0 is 9. However, in the rules, it says we're only using numbers 1 through 9. And then the following two numbers would be a 2 and a 6. Okay? So if you would like some more practice with Kakuros, you can go to www.kakuros.com and you can select the 3x3 puzzles. On your homework and on the chapter quiz, you'll only be doing the 3x3s. So, your homework for this section is to complete the chapter 1.2 homework found on my RCOA. And a little piece of special information is that 3 of these questions on the chapter quiz will be similar to the homework questions.